Alright people, happy Halloween. Hulk coming to you straight from the car today. Because why not dress up if you have something to dress up? Sorry Hulk, I'm going to be pinching your skin to get a microphone on, but we're good. And this is just like the normal me. Yeah, man. Normal me, because you know, normally I've got all these big strong muscles, and actually, I mean, I don't have these big strong muscles, but something I was thinking about is I remember hearing that like this bodybuilder was so big that he couldn't swing a baseball bat. I don't know, and after like walking around, this is not me putting out into the world that I do not want to be big and strong, okay? If you are big and strong, I love you and I think you're fantastic, and I'm a little bit jealous. But I don't think I'd want to be this big and strong, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't know. I feel like I maybe because I just feel like I'm in a padded suit, it feels like it's not mine, and that's okay. But yeah, maybe if I had the muscles, it wouldn't feel like a suit. It'd feel like my own thing. Who the stinking heck cares? It's Friday. It is Halloween. And Graham was able to hook it up with a bunch of white fabric. So we are going to have some fun making some ghosts that we can hang from the drone and spookify the campus. It's gonna be fun. The fact that I get to do what I get to do is incredible. And 1 week of a voice being down. I think by last Friday I started sounding like this. Hoping that this weekend is not like last weekend where there's birthdays and talking over music. Hopefully I could just get my voice back. But there's a football game and there's a wrestling tournament, and you know what? We're just gonna keep on going. So, what the heck has been going on? My kids in class are done with the new material. Hallelujah. The crowd went wild. They cheered for Mr. Coleman because he got through all the material. And now it is up to the kid, and kids plural, sure, to learn the material. I try to tell him, just because you've seen the video doesn't mean you learned it. Just because we read the book doesn't mean you learned it. Just because we went through the questions and highlighted them doesn't mean you learned it. Now it's time to actually learn it, and I'm shoving as many questions in front of these kids, and I tell them same process for going and getting your driver's permit. You have to pass the written test. See as many questions as you can to where you're gonna start seeing those questions again, and you won't even have to look at the map. You're gonna be like, bro, I know exactly what this question is because I've seen this question before. This dude is cruising on a motorcycle. Oh, let's not do that. I realized my phone can record video selfie, and play music at the same time, which might have to be something I start doing, because sometimes I'm like, dude, I just want to crank a good song on my way to school. And we also have daylight savings time. We get an extra hour of sleep on Saturday night. Gonna be fantastic. Oh man, we got Ronald McDonald dressing up. I like it. Anyway, hey, I was the kid on Halloween that would get the pillowcase, fill it up. Now that I'm thinking about it, why did we have a pillowcase? For reals, we had a pillowcase to get all the candy. Maybe I was poorer than I remember. We had a pillowcase and we'd fill the dang thing up with candy. I remember like being able to swing that around and knocking kids over. But oh no, I was the kid, though, that if you gave me a pillowcase full of candy, I could make it last an entire year. Uncle Ryan, my brother, not so much. Man, he'd run through that candy super quick and come crawling to little brother Kyle a week later saying, "Can I please have some candy for me?" I just think in all things in my life, I try to do that. I really do. And I'm not doing it to brag. I'm doing it because I think it's ingrained in my soul. I really am like, I'm a saver. I think I have pairs of shoes that I've had for 15 years. I'm like, you know, I don't think it's like bad. I don't think it's like hoarder status, hoarder. I think it's more like, if it works. And you know, I'm like, yeah, how do you really wear shoes out? I don't wear shoes enough to wear them out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I try to run through clothes, but I'm like, dude, I save a lot of things. And if you gave me $100, I would be like, okay, I can, you know, I could take a month or 2 or 10 to spend this stuff. Sure, I could spend it, but anyway, I think there's a beauty and a curse to it. Beautiful side is, hey, you ration out your food and you're the squirrel that doesn't go hungry in the wintertime because you stored your acorns in the tree like a good squirrel's supposed to do. Or the bugs in Bug's Life, they were storing all the seed stuff for the grasshoppers, anyway. Hey, you gotta store all that stuff up. The downside is you're kind of afraid to use your stuff. You kind of become afraid of it. You're like, hey, I made $100. I'm kind of afraid to spend $100. I just filled up a pillowcase, my goodness, with candy. Should have gone, darn it. And I could make it last an entire year, but I'm like afraid to eat it. And I don't want to be afraid to eat it. I went door to door and worked my tail off for that candy, right? That's what kids think. And I don't think you should be afraid to spend the money that you earn or eat the candy that you get. My style of doing things is definitely prolonging the enjoyment. But then I find myself like feeling guilty about eating the piece of candy or spending the $1, being like, oh man, you know. And like, there's this saying, like, rather than trying to plug the drain, turn on the faucet. What's that mean? Rather than trying to plug your bank account and not spend any money, which I still think you should do, instead turn on the faucet, start working more, start putting yourself out there. Let's get promoted, let's move up, let's move out, you know what I mean? I think as a parent, my kids are gonna get candy tonight probably, right? And I have to be the parent that goes through all the candy because there's stinking weirdos out there now that do stuff to the candy. I have to figure out how much candy is enough for one little 2-year-old, 4-year-old, and 6-year-old. Not that much candy. But if I send my kids out there on an empty stomach, you can bet they're gonna fill that entire belly full of the candy. So I think I need to be intentional and be like, all right, kids, what's your favorite meal? Right now, ramen noodles and hot dogs. Maybe we are poor. And so I'm like, maybe I load them up ramen noodles and hot dogs, all you can eat buffet at the house, and then they go get their candy on. So that way they have a full belly, and they probably still will find room in that belly to shove a bunch of Snickers and sour whatever the heck these kids eat these days. Anyway, I don't think you should be afraid to use it. There's a student I'm thinking of. Let's keep names off. Doing a little bit of, a little above the speed limit, making sure that no little biker cops are down here. This kid is not afraid of spending his money. He's like, I'm going to invest, I'm going to buy bounce houses. And he bought bounce houses. And then he starts saving up money from buying the bounce houses, pays off bounce house payment. And then he's like, hey, I'm going to save up and buy the next party event thing, a mechanical bull. And then, hey, I'm going to invest in the next big thing. I'm going to buy the speakers and the inflatable screen and the projector. And kept buying these things. And I'm like, dude, if I saved up at a 19, 20, 22-year-old age, I'd be so afraid to spend all of it to buy something that invests in me. But I'm like, I think you should invest in you. What this kid has learned by not just being afraid to take the chances, and I think that's what it comes down to. Not being afraid. Even on Halloween when everything's spooky. Don't second guess yourself. Don't be afraid of investing in yourself. $2,000 spent on you to invest in something you believe in is money well spent. Do I think you should just waste the $2,000 and buy something that, no, I think you should learn a lot. And this kid, very awesome kid, I know, has learned a whole stinking lot with what he has spent his money on. But he's currently owning a business, and it's pretty awesome to see how we got there, all the steps that it took. And I'm like, even if you gave me an extra ton of money, I'd be like, oh, don't spend it. What if? Turn on the faucet this Halloween, okay? Oh man, that's how you turn Halloween into a motivational speech. Be smart tonight. Risk management, people. That is what you need to do in your life. Manage all the risks. Don't do things that might put you in a bad spot. Be observant. Situational awareness, people. When you go places, be aware of what the heck is going on around you. And for real, in every aspect of your life, minimize the risk that something bad could happen. You heard it. You're not going to listen to me because I'm an old man and you're a high school kid that knows flipping everything. Whatever. I know because I was once that high school kid that didn't want to listen to a 40-year-old dude dressed up in a Hulk costume telling me, hey, manage my risks. Yeah, right, man. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to fill up this pillowcase and I'm going to save it all year long because that's the kind of man I am. What? Just kidding. Happy Friday, people. If you see ghosts flying around in the sky around ROC, it's okay. It's just our drone program.